And tonight, voters and political experts are reacting to last night's debate between the two Republican candidates.
Several moments from that debate are receiving attention on social media, including a moment when Graham said she did not know enough about national security to answer a question about Taiwan.
Our Nate Stanley was at the debate last night. He joins us now with more analysis. Nate.
Well, Linda Abrams, a political professor who you're about to hear from, tells me it's hard to determine how much the debate could have impacted potential voters. She does say, though, if there was someone who didn't watch the debate and only saw a video of one of the candidates' bad moments, that could have a huge impact on how they'll see the race.
I think that's usually when I come out of a debate with no mistakes. It's not going to move the needle, but you don't want it to move the needle the opposite way either. And that is what we have to see with this debate.
The dust continues to settle after Tuesday's debate between Congressman Ralph Norman.
Ralph Norman is very smooth. He knows how to talk in front of the camera. He's experienced. All of that came through last night.
And Senator Darlene Graham.
She does have some of the charisma that Lindsey Graham had, and that is you believe her. She's, honest and straightforward. And what may help her in that debate last night was she just said, I'm just going to be honest. I don't know much about that issue.
Political professor Linda Abrams is referring to a moment in Tuesday's debate when Senator Graham said she wasn't versed enough on national security to take a stance on relations between U.S. ally Taiwan and China.
I'm just going to be honest here. I'm not on national security. I'm not that informed on national security, but I do support the military.
It's as if lots of people watched it and they didn't see her perform well on other issues. They're just going to, those who didn't watch it, that's the part that they're going to see. And that probably is not helpful.
Regardless of debate performance, Abrams says voter turnout will likely be the biggest influence in a race with a growing mountain of endorsements.
Where that turnout is heavy in the upstate favors Ralph Norman. If it's heavy in the Midlands and in the Low Country, that might favor her. I think the Russell Fry endorsement is going to be something that we're going to be watching to see if the areas where his support resides, if they go for Darlene Graham, then the night's going to be pretty good for her.
Looking ahead on Friday, President Donald Trump is set to be in Myrtle Beach for a rally expected to re-emphasize his endorsement of Senator Darlene Graham. And at the same time, here in the upstate, Congressman Ralph Norman will be hosting a meet and greet. Chris?